No, I didn't.
So it's in the road right now?
Yep.
Is my type having one?
That's a little.
No.
That's it.
You're on your own for
I
that
couldn't
one.
do that today. We just bring her. She was good. She just sit there and bring forward. And she could sit there and lose confidence.
Corey?
That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
They don't know.
What are the chances
Right.
that Robert, you know this very well?
Whatever you need.
If I borrow, I mean, I will give them that,
That's
but.
fine, it's okay, so funny.
We'll just charge you in return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I cancel cable.
Like that.
Yeah, he's
Catch me on
already
the
opened it up.
In that case, you know,
Yeah, so.
no batteries for you.
Sitting, he'll probably be sitting up in the next month, maybe. He's teething a little bit.
Oh, that's not fun.
It should be fresh.
Well, we can hardwire it then. Thanks, Corey.
You're welcome.
Who'd you pick to win that
I ended up picking it. Kentucky's my. I picked North Carolina.
So did,
Wasn't happy about it
Sam
though.
Holland. She picked Kentucky? No, she picked.
North Carolina. I wasn't happy about North Carolina, but I picked them. And I'm actually about to look at my bracket right now because I'm pretty. I think did Baylor lose? I mean BYU. I think they just lost.
I picked Creighton, they were losing, but they were pulling it back, they're coming back.
Okay. Final audio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You good? All right. Check, 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 check.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, a substitute teacher, his brother-in-law, Chris, was one of my kids.
You going to prom?
Okay, cameras, we all good? Alan, we are? Okay, we will wait for you, sir. Commissioner?
Everybody ready? Okay, last night, a little after midnight, there was a double fatal car accident that occurred at Main and Humboldt. As I said, a little after midnight, there was a Dodge Magnum that was observed by one of our patrol lieutenants traveling northbound on Main Street in the area of Main and Jefferson. It was traveling at an extremely excessive rate of speed, northbound on Main, also did not have his headlights on. When that supervisor went to do a U-turn in an attempt to stop that vehicle at that point collided with another vehicle at the intersection of Main and Humboldt. The supervisor didn't even have an opportunity to turn around, so there was no pursuit involved in this. The vehicle that was struck was traveling westbound on Humboldt, turning onto Main Street. That vehicle was a rideshare vehicle, a Lyft vehicle that had 3 passengers in the vehicle. All 3 of those passengers were from Ohio. The Lyft driver, who was a 26-year-old male, was severely injured, transported to the hospital, and later was pronounced deceased at the hospital. The rear seat passenger of that Lyft vehicle, a 27-year-old female passenger of Ohio, was transported to ECMC, was also declared deceased. There were 2 male passengers, one in the front seat passenger side, one in the rear seat passenger side, both 31 years old, both of Ohio. They were both injured. One of the passengers was last listed in critical condition. The other passenger was listed in stable condition. The driver of the vehicle is a 23-year-old male, Devin Ford. He was transported to the hospital with injuries, and ultimately he was charged, which the DA will get into those charges. The information that we have is the 3 passengers from Ohio were in town for some event at Riverworks and responsibly called for a rideshare and were being driven to an Airbnb in that rideshare when this accident occurred. As you can imagine, this investigation is it's extensive, it's ongoing. There's a lot of investigation that has to be done. There's a lot of video canvas that's being done that will continue to be done. We are working on obtaining, with the district attorney's assistance, a search warrant for the vehicles. We will be downloading the black boxes of the vehicles, the infotainment centers, and everything that goes along with that. That does take some time. To get into the charges itself, I will turn this over to District Attorney John Flynn.
Thank you, Commissioner. As we speak right now, if it's not completed already, the judge that is on call today from Buffalo City Court, Judge Dabney, has traveled to ECMC and is at the hospital doing the arraignment. As the Commissioner stated, 23-year-old Devin Ford was charged with numerous offenses. As the Commissioner stated, he was injured and he is still at the hospital right now. The arraignment, obviously the charges were filed right away. We can't, wait around for the arraignment, so we're going to arraign him right away at the hospital. He was arraigned on 2 counts of manslaughter in the 2nd degree, that under the reckless manslaughter theory. He was also charged with 2 counts of assault in the 1st degree. Obviously, the manslaughter charges are for the 2 deceased passengers in the Lyft vehicle, and the 2 assault in the 1st degree charges are for the 2 surviving passengers in the Lyft vehicle. There are also numerous motor vehicle traffic offenses, to include imprudent speed, driving without a license, driving without insurance, The Dodge vehicle that the defendant was allegedly driving was not a stolen vehicle. We're still trying to ascertain who is the owner of that vehicle, but we have no indication right now that it was stolen. As the commissioner stated, this investigation is ongoing. We are looking into whether or not there was any alcohol or drugs involved. I mean, that obviously will come at a later time, and we can, tweak the charges as they occur. But as of right now, whenever I have a car that is driving at a excessive rate of speed under the conditions on a city street that is a 30 miles an hour speed limit street and causes allegedly a motor vehicle accident where 2 people die, I don't need to wait, quite frankly, for any toxicology test or any alcohol-related test. I have enough right there for a straight-up regular manslaughter in the 2nd degree under a reckless theory. Obviously, if it turns out that there was drugs or alcohol involved, we will adjust the charges accordingly. But right now, the charges are, and there could be additional charges in the future. Questions?
The 3 passengers plus the driver of the lift is what you're saying?
Yes, there were 4 individuals inside the car. So the 2 that occupied the driver's side of the vehicle that was struck, the lift vehicle was struck on the driver's side. So the driver and the rear seat driver's side passenger were the ones that were fatally injured. The 2 on the passenger side of the vehicle, front and rear, were injured.
There was, a police officer wasn't engaged in any sort of chase, but they were getting ready to pull this person over, is that correct?
So one of our supervisors had been traveling southbound on Main Street approaching Jefferson when he observed this vehicle pass him at a very excessive rate of speed. That patrol supervisor turned around in an effort to what would have been to attempt to pull the vehicle over when the collision occurred. If you can, you're all familiar with the geography between Main and Jefferson and Main and Humboldt is a very short distance. It's not even a quarter of a mile, probably 100 yards, if not something like that, maybe a couple hundred yards.
To have a police officer at the scene to be a witness, does that help with your case?
Oh, yes, obviously, but, as the commissioner stated, there's going to be, a canvass done of the entire neighborhood of, on that street of Main Street there. There's a lot of businesses there, parts of Canisius College there, and so, as the commissioner stated, we're going to scan the entire area for video. And at this time, as the commissioner stated, the police officer, the supervisor was in the process of turning around. So, right now, I'm not even sure what his vantage point was. So we'll have to just, talk with him in the future and, find out exactly what he saw.
Certainly a heartbreaking situation with 3 people that are from out of town coming to see an event at Riverside. I mean, you can talk to the families and notify them of.
Yeah, the families have been contacted. They were on their way in. I believe they might even be in town by this point. It's my understanding that between our investigators and the district attorney, assistant district attorney that's assigned to the case, we'll be meeting with the family as well. I mean, you come into town for an event, it's, your family's not expecting to get those phone calls. You're never expecting those phone calls, but it's, obviously this is a tragic and awful turn of events from what I presume, they would have had a nice time where they were going.
We have a victim advocate in my office who is just assigned to not only homicides, but another one assigned to DWI cases. So again, my ADA is literally right now at ECMC doing the arraignment. So I presume that by this point, someone from my office has contacted a family, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But obviously, my victim advocate will be engaging with the family and helping them out in any way they can.
So were any of the victims in the other car related?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Were any of the victims in the other car, were they related?
I don't have that information on whether they're related. We will be releasing the names, just not today. We're going to give it some time. I don't, the last names are not the same on any of the passengers of the lift vehicle. We're going to give it, usually we give it about a day before we release names, particularly with them from being out of town. It's going to take a little more time for family to, notify other extended family members.
But again, you said family has been notified?
Yes, family has been notified.
Anyone else?
good, thanks, okay.
Before you go, one more
Yep.
second,
Yep.
because I just, need to get a picture.
I don't know if I had this reversed, I will clarify just for everybody. So, the deceased female is 26 years old. I thought I said that, maybe I didn't. The male, who is the driver of the lift vehicle, is 27 years old. I don't know if I said that correctly.
27 and 26.
Yes.
Male driver,
Male driver, 27, of Buffalo. The other 3 passengers are from Ohio.
I have an off-topic if you don't mind.
Sure. Do you want?
There's been a lot of attention on violence in Buffalo public schools over the past few days. What is your stance on potentially bringing off-duty officers back into school? Obviously, that was voted against back in 2020.
So we had off-duty officers that were working in schools, going back, I don't know how long. They were working at schools for an extended period of years. When schools closed because of COVID, obviously all that stopped. It was my understanding during that COVID closure of the schools that the school board or the schools ended that funding line for off-duty officers to work in the schools. When Buffalo police officers work second jobs, they're working their own second jobs. I don't have a stance on what officers work. We approve so long as the employment is legal, of course. They have to file a notice with my office that they are seeking additional employment outside of. We regulate the amount of hours that they can work, no more than 20 hours in a week. And obviously, again, the work has to be legal in order for us to approve that. That's between Buffalo schools and the school board and whether or not they are intending on employing any additional security. I know they have expanded their own Buffalo school security force, so I don't know if that's in the works, that they are looking for that additional employment or not.
anyone else? All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye.
You too, John.